And one. We're live.
All right, everybody. How's everybody doing? We are part 2 of creating an NEP5 wallet. Last week, we basically did the contract. And this week, I'm going to be showing you all Neon.js, which is the front-end version for interacting with contracts and wallets and stuff using JavaScript. So before we begin,
Hey, Jyrone.
What's up?
We were actually screwing around earlier, Matt and I, on the JavaScript side. I don't know if you heard about it or not, but it was this tool called, what the frick was it called? It's like, not Solarity or Solidity, or no, that's an Ethereum tool. Hold on, let me go pull this up. It was, Matt just showed it to me, and it was dope. It was awesome. Hold on, let me find this. You know, the problem is when you want to actually look at something, you can't remember it, you know?
Yeah.
Hold on, but let me, it was so awesome. Like, it was literally drag and drop. So, like, traditionally, I've, like, built something in mockups, and then, you know, like, right, you have, like, the UI guy build it in mockups, and then you try to, like, flip over the wireframe. Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah, here we go. It's called Scene Builder. Have you heard of it before?
No, I haven't.
I'll chat it to you. And I don't want to, well, I guess I didn't mean to derail you, but.
No, you're good.
I'll derail it to you. But check it, yeah, just check it out. I'll get off and let you play around with it. But
all right, cool. Yeah, send it to me in chat, and yeah, definitely take a look. Thanks.
Yeah, let's take a look at it. Yeah, I'll hop off. But literally, it's drag and drop.
Okay, cool.
And it like basically builds out your XML files and everything. You know, basically your XML files that then tie into the actual Java app.
Okay, cool. So, we'll take a look.
I'll jump off. Sorry.
All right, you're good. Talk to her. All right, so what was I saying? Oh, yeah, so like I was saying, so last week we were doing the back-end stuff, basically the smart contract. You can go on GitHub, DU Crypto, Rental Coin. I figured out what my issue was last week. They upgraded DO Python to be Python 3.6 and later, which I knew that they were going to do. And my virtual machine had 3.5. So I haven't actually fixed it yet because I just figured it out not that long ago. But we can work on the front end stuff. So let me go back. Oh, I don't think I'm doing screen sharing. Oh, I'm sorry. Share my screen. All right. And I believe I already forked Neon.js. Have it? No, I surely have. Yeah, there we go. Neon.js, 17 minutes behind. Let's go ahead and do a pull request. All right, create pull request. Merge with COZ master. I'm just pulling the latest City of Zion code in. All right, cool. Okay, now it's up to date. That was weird. Whatever. okay, whatever, doesn't matter. I'll fix that later. But Neon.js is the Neon Wallet's JS SDK for the Neo blockchain platform. It is currently what is used by Neon to write their Neon wallet. It's pretty simple. It's an NPM package, so we're just going to create the app and do npm I and install the City of Zion Neon.js. And let's actually just head over to the docs. That will be more helpful. All right, so let's do the get started. Yeah, all right, get started. So let's do a quick overview of what exactly is we're gonna do before I head into it. So basically, for those of you who are just joining us or don't remember from last week we created a new coin, NEP5 coin called Rental Coin. And Rental Coin, the premise of it is to be used in the rental space market. So if you, for example, instead of having to do credit checks for every place that you apply for or background check, all this rental information could be stored on the blockchain, and also rental owners, their rental information, their rental property information will be stored on the blockchain. Past tenants, past damages, past inspections, et cetera, et cetera. And then information can be bought and sold using Rental Coin, and also rent can be paid with Rental Coin. So this next series, for those of you who joined us last week, this next series is going to be focused. We're basically going to make a wallet. People are going to be able to sign up. They're going to be able to see their balance. They're going to be able to transfer credits. And then they're also going to be able to add information to the blockchain. So this is going to be done basically with the Neon.js SDK, and we're going to be basically calling the invoke function method, that's going to be the crux of our application. And what the invoke function method does, it takes in the hash of the contract, and it takes the function call and the array of arguments, and basically calls the function of the contract. If those of you who remember from last week, basically we defined a bunch of methods, and then in the main method, it took an operations array, and we did an if else on the operation, and depending on what that operation is, it calls a certain function with the arguments. So basically this invoke function is calling that main function with the operation and the array arguments. So let's go back to sharing the screen. And this is going to be a multi-part series. I'm just going to set up it's not really going to work. Let's go ahead and onto my virtual machine. So the back end stuff, you're not really got to worry about. I'm going to make a Laravel application, and mostly the main reason I'm doing that is just because for quick scaffolding, and it comes built in with Vue.js. Vue.js is what we're going to be doing the vast majority of the stuff in. I'm going to build upon what we did at the hackathon. And if you guys just care to look at the code later down the line, you can always go on to GitHub and look at it. But other than that, I'm going to just focus on the front end stuff, which is the interaction and creations of the wallet. Go. Move this. Go to my profile. Repositories. There it goes. NEP5. So I'm just going to clone this. And this is the code that we had, that me and Ricky had at the hackathon. Is definitely needs to be cleaned up, but 24 hours no sleep coding will do that to you. So we already have the dependencies in there, so we're just gonna do npm install, or let me make sure. Package. Yeah, to design. Okay. All right, npm install. And that's going to install our dependencies, which I've already put in the city of Zion in there. And while I was doing that, actually, I need to open a new tab and set my Etsy host and all that good stuff. So what is it? New tab. All right, sudo nano / Etsy / host. Put in my password. And then we're gonna add neoreynolds.app. Neoreynolds.app. And then we're going to exit out of here because we're done. And then I gotta edit my VirtualBox, or my Vagrant file rather. I'll call it Neo Reynolds and Neo Reynolds. Let's do a vagrant provision. It's going to reprovision the virtual machine. And while that's doing, actually, stop. I'm going to let that finish first. Oh, did I mess it up? Okay, cool. Yeah, I'm gonna let it finish that first. But basically, I had to edit the Etsy host file so we can access the web page from the URL. From the I'm using the Laravel Homestead virtual machine for coding, and it just makes everything a lot easier. But yeah, so that should actually let's still going, but I can open up Atom. And we can start looking at the code. I need to get a new Mac. This is starting to get slow. got too many plugins on this thing. Actually, I need to move the contract over to the over to this. Have everything all in one. Okay, this really needs to hurry up. There we go. I'm going to add a project folder. We're going to go programs and go down to Jyrone and open. Go ahead and exit out. Just to be safe, I'm not going to save. There we have resources, assets, JavaScript, components, wallet component. We're going to lose claim. All right, so once this finishes, and I can reprovision the virtual machine, I can show you basically what we have so far, but I can describe it in the meantime. So basically what we have built up to the point of the hackathon being finished is basically registration. When you sign up, if you've never, it creates you a wallet. I want to add functionality where you can import a wallet so it doesn't create one for you. And then it shows all of your balances. Well, I commented it out, but I wanted to show all your balances. So your NEO, your gas, your NEO gas, and your RNC coin, which is the rental coin. And then there's a view for showing houses or rental properties or whatever. And then you can inquire. And when you inquire, it sends you the blockchain information. We'll work on that later. What I want to focus on now is the creation of the wallet and interaction with the blockchain at the beginning. And then in the next week, we'll go more in depth with the individual method calls, the individual implications for the more advanced things outside of the basic 5 NEP5 methods that need to be implemented. So this would be stuff like storing the renter information on the blockchain or doing a inquiry somebody's credit on the blockchain. I'm not going to do all that tonight. So basically, we're just going to focus on the 5. All right, cool. It's almost done. Well, maybe not. Compiling from source. Wait, it doesn't seem to be working. Oh, okay. From source. All right. Don't fail me now. Let's go back to the code. All right, so we're gonna change this and edit this a little bit, but I don't know if you guys are familiar with Vue.js, but this is what the JavaScript framework that I'm choosing to use. So basically, we have this container. We have a view showing your wallet with your wallet address and your balance, which I took out but need to add in there. You know, got your private keys, your WIF key, Neo account, public key, address, wallet account, wallet balance. I created a little API, so it grabs your wallet data. So if you have a wallet, then if you do not have a wallet, create a Neo account. Otherwise, pull in your account. Load your account. And yes, I know I did crappy practice by actually storing the private key. I rather write an app where just all the responsibilities on the person, so they load it with their own private key. I don't want to store anything, or at the very least, very minimum or maximum, I should say, storing it in local storage. But it was a hackathon, so. And then we have this create Neo account, and basically we're using the Neon. We're using the Neon SDK. I had to do a little different because I'm using Vue, so I had to add this default. I had to use this default method, which I would have never known if the creator was not at the hackathon. The guy who made the Neon.js library was at the hackathon, so I was able to ask him a crap load of questions. One of them was following the tutorial. I had just used neon.create private key, and it kept saying it couldn't find method create on a null object. So I'm like, why is this null? Yada yada yada. And then he was like, oh, you're using Vue.js. And I was like, yes, sir. And he was like, well, you have to use the default method because of the JS. I think it's because of the JSX compiler. So React would have to do the same thing as well. Like little tidbits, stuff like that. It's really cool. This is stuff that you would just spend hours learning, hours on the internet trying to surf and find the answer. It was just really cool that had that resource there. So you get a WIF from the private key, and then you create a new account with this private key, and you get the public key from the creation of an account. You get the address, and from that address, and then you create a wallet account based off the private key. And then you can choose to do encryption and verify the keys and all that good stuff. But I just go straight to getting the balance. So that's the create Neo account method, which will basically happen after somebody creates an account on the Neo Rentals. It checks to see if they already have an account. If they do not have a wallet account, then create a new Neo account. Otherwise, we're going to load the account, and it's basically the same thing. Actually, I didn't notice this. All that coffee. So I'm doing this incorrectly. I'm doing a create right here when I don't think I got to do all this. I think I just got to do the new neon.wallet.account private key. But anyway, this is what I did. So basically I created a new account based off the private key, which I think will still load the old account, so it probably doesn't matter. Actually, I know for a fact it doesn't matter because I did test this functionality. But I'm grabbing the public key again. I'm grabbing the address. I'm grabbing the wallet, and then I'm getting the balance. So same thing is that I'm just pulling down the database instead of creating it on the fly. And the get balance method, I'm returning a new instance of the Neon Wallet balance object. And here I was using testnet. This actually needs to be the private net. So in this case, it would be localhost port. I can't remember the port off the top of my head, but I want to say 235 or my bad, 20,035, 20035. They're gonna be like local host, I think I might be wrong, but that actually brings up a good point because we have the private net up running. Oh, it's done. We have the private net up running on one of my servers, so I got to figure out what the information is. I wish I had Ricky on the call, but you know, now we got a private net up in the cloud. You know, you guys feel free to once I find out what the port and the IP address is, and I'll just hard code that into the app when I'm done, when I figure it out. But you guys can copy that and connect to that private net. We'll just make that the DU private net, and you know, we can just test our contracts and stuff on there. And then you just grab the address. I'm gonna change that back to testnet until I'm absolutely certain what our private net is. So that's done. Let's exit out of here. And let's do a vagrant halt, vagrant up, and vagrant SSH. And what that's going to do is stop the virtual machine because we were in it when we upgraded it, and then call it vagrant up. Actually, well, yeah, I mean, vagrant up calls vagrant provision. So, yeah, so it calls a provision, and then we SSH back into the virtual machine. So that's going to take a minute, but after that's done, we'll be able to access the URL. This rentals component, this is where we were putting the test data for the rental properties. Basically, we didn't get to implement the functionality, but here is going to show a list of the rental properties, and then you can click to inquiry information about that property on the blockchain, and then it's going to have a certain cost associated with it. Now, one of the things that I learned at the hackathon, the biggest question that was asked of the City of Zion people at the hackathon was, how do you attach Neo or any other token to your contract invocation? And what basically they're saying, like, it's possible, but there's no easy way of doing it right now. They're still in the process of integrating that part of the SDK. So what you basically have to do is convert it to a byte string and put it in the doing some funky shit with the call. And honestly, I'm just gonna wait for them to put that functionality in the SDK to make it easier. But ideally, theoretically, what we're trying to do is, you know, you attach a certain amount of RNC or gas RNC or gas. I guess we could do Neo as well. But yeah, I originally was thinking RNC or gas to the call, and then it gives you back in your email or whatnot a list of all the stuff from the blockchain, given to you in a zip file or a CSV file or what have you. That's basically what this view component was doing. Oh, and this view, if I remember correctly, this one was when you selected an actual rental property that you wanted to rent, you could claim it, and it would hold. So the idea was in the contract, if you wanted to claim a property, you could put the down payment of the property in Neo or RNC, and the contract would hold the Neo until the rental property owner decided they want to rent it to you. So it would notify the rental property owner that somebody, Jyrone Parker is interested in this condo in Lexington, Kentucky. So the property owner can be like, all right, I want to check the rental history of Jyrone Parker. So then he could attach a certain amount of gas or RNC to the invocation call, and then all my blockchain information about my rental history will be sent to him. So all my evictions, my places where I lived, how much it was when I lived there, et cetera, et cetera. Based on that information, he can decide whether or not he wants to rent to me. If he does, then that amount of RNC or Neo that was held will go in escrow, like basically acts like an escrow, and go to the rental property owner's Neo address. In which case, that's recorded on the blockchain, et cetera, et cetera. One of the things that I wanted to do, which obviously I knew I wasn't going to get done in a 24-hour period of the hackathon, and I don't really want to spend too much time on this project, but it'd be cool just to see implemented, was to apply machine learning so that when the rental property owner was looking at the people that wanted to claim a property to rent, they could do an invocation call, and based off their blockchain history would give an indicator to let the person know whether or not it's a good idea to rent to this person. So, to get it really cool, there would be a lot of machine learning added in there, and I don't really got time for all that. So if this is done, then I should be able to, yes, it was done. All right, let's actually go to the app. So NeoRentals.app. It doesn't need to be HTTPS. Okay. All right, don't know why I should go. I swear, like every week it's some crap. All right, let's try Firefox. Oh my God. All right. right. All right, so ran the provisioner again. So maybe I should have just ran the provisioner. Let's see. What the hell is this? Failed to open programs Jyrone. I'm not okay. CD. Okay. Program rules. Text rules. Programs. Oh wow. I'm sorry. Composer install. No, not there. CD. Reynolds. Oh, sorry. I gotta be in the virtual machine. Keep doing stupid stuff. All right, Vagrant SSH. Oh, I gotta install our dependencies. And we are using Laravel 5.6, the latest version, if anybody was interested. A lot of dependencies to go into a Laravel lab. Well, I do have extra stuff piled in there for like OAuth and stuff, but still. All right, optimize upload files. Oops, I like something wrong. All right. Setting up the environment file. No application encryption key. Oh, okay. PHP artisan key generate. Wow. All right, cool. So here we have it. Let us sign up. PHP artisan migrate. PHP artisan DVC. Can I add? Oh. Jyrone Parker. Jyrone Parker at gmail.com. I am a renter. All right. So already it looks like it's hung up because I'm not seeing a wallet address pop up. Fill, get the status code. Hopefully, let me see if this will let me let it do it. I really wish it was working in Chrome because I have an extension in Chrome for Vue.js and lets me look at the errors and stuff. Clear. Nope. All right, I'm not gonna mess with it too much. All right, let's go back. And it said that our request. So let's hit network. Let's refresh. All right, so it's hanging up on /me. Oh, well, now let me try running the database seeder and now I've created the account. All right, cool. I had to run a database seeder. Nope, still hanging up. All right. So why is it hanging up? Let's look at the response. Oh, passport install. PHP artisan. I'm using OAuth to communicate. So we're using keys. And I didn't install my passport server. All right. hopefully now it'll work. Bam. All right. Whew, I'm tired. All right. So we have these rentals. Move this away somewhere. Here we got the wallet address. I need to add the balance. We see the list of rentals. If I inquire about a rental, it asks if I want to inquire about the property, hit OK. The inquiry has been submitted. We're going to be sent to your email. This is the point where that I need to add the adding the gas or RNC coin to the user's request. Right now, it's just kind of blank. So I showed you guys what I did to generate the wallet address and get the address. Now let's work on the balance. When I connect it to the private net on the server, it'll be much easier because then we'll be able to actually invoke the contract. But in the meantime, let's go. Let's see. Let me start the, I'm using Webpack. So every time that I save changes, I'm watching for changes, so it'll save it in real time. So I don't have to do all the Webpack stuff over and over and over. I guess you guys can tell I'm very lazy. I'm always trying to automate stuff. I think I gotta do watch. All right. Ah, cool. Wait, I don't know, did they update it or not? Well, we'll definitely look at the create smart contract script. They've been changing stuff so much. Operation balance up. Yeah, we'll definitely keep that up. All right, I'm trying to find the documentation for getting the balance. So I can show you. Go back to the docs right here. API, wallet. Balance. All right. Oh, okay. So I'm already getting the balance. All right, I'm remembering now. Sorry, guys. All right, so I already got the balance here. I'm just not showing it. Let's go ahead and show the balance. Save. All right, cool. Saving. And let's go back. So when you call the get balance, it returns you a JSON object. Let me make this bigger. Yeah, let's make this way bigger. All right. There we go. So it returns you a JSON object. You have the address. You have the network that you're on. Right now we're on testnet. It has your asset symbols, your assets, your token symbols, and your tokens. Okay. So your asset symbols are going to be NEO and gas. All right. Your assets are going to be NEO and gas. So is how much you have in the NEO and gas. So it would show if you had some NEO, it would show NEO and then colon and how much NEO you had. And then the token symbols is the same thing. You have your so RNC would be in the token symbols. And then in your tokens object, you would have a sub object called RNC with your balance in it. But because we're on test network, we don't have anything. So basically right here, I want to do .tokens. I don't really care about the let's take it back. I believe that's how that would be. Double check. Yeah. So it's got tokens has an index of the string with the number as the value. Okay. String and then the asset balance. So yeah, I had that right. So we hit shoot. I don't know how I did that. Anyway, we hit the balance object, the tokens object with the RNC key, and then that returns the balance of our RNC tokens. And then here on our assets, oh no. I'm actually going to change this to Neo. And gas. No end tag. Oh. All right. Okay. All right. So yeah. So now it shows your wallet address, Neo, gas, and RNC. As we saw just a few months ago, because we're on testnet and we haven't been allocated anything, all those are empty objects, so therefore nothing is going to show right here. If you were to switch this over to mainnet and then put in your own, actually, you know, I'm curious what it looks like. But yeah, if you switch this to mainnet, then and you put in your own Neo address and whatnot, and the private key and whatnot, then you know, it should show all your balances. Actually, I don't even know if that would work anyway. But anyway, okay. Yeah, because I forgot I'm not creating a new wallet. But anywho, that is the creation of a wallet and how to grab your tokens. What needs to be done, the deployment on the private net hasn't even been done yet. That needs to be done so that that token is on the private net blockchain. Once that happens, and then we can start claiming and sending and mining, not mining, but transferring RNC tokens. All right. What else can we do right now? We got here in this contract. Yeah, we were doing we weren't doing any of the token stuff on our last when we were at the hackathon. We didn't have time, but we did like the query renter, the adding, registering a renter, transferring renters between rental owners, that stuff. So we need to combine this functionality of what we currently have on the rental coin stuff on GitHub. And what I think I'm going to do is just get rid of that rental coin repository, take the logic, slap it into what I have into the Neo Rentals. So we could go over that, but I mean it's pretty simple. You can just go on the GitHub and see it. Do I have? Speaking of which, I need to make sure that I have the Neo Rentals forked on the DU, and I don't think that I do. Nope. All right, cool. So you guys can look at that on the DU crypto. Go back. So that's the basic creation of the wallet. I mean, the cool thing with Neo, you know, you have the one wallet to rule them all, in a sense, I guess. So we can easily, it looks like, you know, transfer these assets, transfer these tokens. Really, the next step is connecting it to the private net. So I think that's neorentals.jyroneparker.com. Yep. Yeah. So let me ping this real quick. All right. So, oops. This IP address. This IP address is where the private net's going to run. Yeah, sorry. 198.105.254.228. Once again, it's 198.105.254.228. And that's where the private net's going to be running. So now I just got to figure out what the port is going to be. Docker. The ports listed. Edit the protocol.json. All right. So yeah, Zion released their own image for the private net. So the one that I used to Metacris, I was one to use theirs. So let's paste cdo private docker nano protocol. Oh, I thought I was in the oh. Got permission denied. All right. Sudo. So let's do this thing. Edit the code. Oh, install Neo GUI. That's the part that I messed up. Okay. Okay. So what? It wasn't 20. It wasn't 200. It wasn't 20,035. It was 2335 or 2333 or whatnot. So it's a C list right here. We're gonna I'll just copy that one. Let's go back to the wallet. And then what was the IP? Shoot. All right, so the net is going to be 198.105.254.228, port 290,335, I believe. If I'm wrong, I'll just edit and push the updated code. Where we at with this? It says it's done, but it's not done. What is Neo GUI? It's like the crappiest. All right, I'm not gonna look at that right now. We're more or less done here for today. Like I said, I didn't want to go into the individual operation calls because this is a new product and of sorts, and there's lots of changes, and the way that things are being done. I really need to explain thoroughly what is happening in the invocation calls and whatnot. Need to explain the different arguments that go by, and I'm sure that this can probably get broken up into 3 or 4 more videos. So I just want to take some baby steps, and also now that I know what the problem is, I definitely will have the private net up. So just keep that IP address that I gave you, the 198.105.254.228. Keep that, and that's where the private net. So we're gonna have our own private net up on the DU. Don't try not to use up all the gas. It'd be kind of hard, but even if you do, we can just re-image it and get the same amount of gas again. But just rather not. But essentially, what the contract is doing, and I know I went over this last week, is that we're implementing those 5 NEP5 methods to register a token on the blockchain, and it is going to be using the Neon.js wallet to invoke each one of those method calls at the appropriate time, as long as some other calls that are relevant to the application. Command render is all presence. I'd like to see if I can get this up and running before we exit. So I'm just gonna let this run. I don't think I have. I don't think anybody's on the Zoom. I think everybody's on the Facebook. I don't know if you guys have been commenting anything. We can check real quick. Okay, no questions. All right, cool. Let me exit that. Goodness gracious. All right, so let me just recap what we're going to do next week. So we got the wallet creation, shows our balances. We're going to be on the private net, so it should show. I have the wallet, so I'll make an account on private net. I'll send some Neo and gas to that account on the private net, and then we'll just work with it that way. We'll have the functionality. I'll do. Sorry, I don't want this to turn into a Laravel Vue.js seminar. So what I'm going to do is do some more of the background coding for some of the functionality. I'm going to make some more of the views and stuff, add the buttons and stuff for people to pay their rent and stuff like that. So that when we get together on Wednesday, that we can just focus on the smart contract part. And I'm also going to do what I did today, and just pre-code it, or pre-code a lot of it, so that we can have some shorter streams and get right to the meat of things. So it looks like this is going on. So hopefully it'll be done soon, because I would like to get off here early. Oh. I say early, and I've already been on here for like an hour. Oh, so now let's look at, so how do you call a script with Neon.js? So you have to use a script builder. And in the script builder, you basically, you create this properties object, and you're going to put the hash of the script. So this is the script hash of the contract. You're going to put the operation. So in this example, they're doing balance of, right? And then what they're going to do is add in any optional arguments. Then you create this neon.create.script, and you pass in that properties, that props argument. The script now has a hex string that you can use in an invoke script RPC call on an invocation transaction. So what you're going to do is call the invoke script. You're going to pass in that script object that you just created. You're going to execute it on a node. And then when you receive the response, you're going to receive a state and a response. So it'll say halt or break. And then you should get a JSON RPC result. And oh no. Okay, here I was. So it shows you the script hash. It shows you the state of the. It shows you the state of the script, which should show you halt or break, which means that it's done. It tells you the amount of gas consumed, and then it gives you the stack that was passed back. So basically byte array, and the array is going to vary, or the value is going to vary. The value filled in our result, and then we can turn into human readable form by passing into the fixed UTF-8. So in this case, you use this helper function, fixed8 from reverse hex, and you pass it the hex string. In this case, because they call it balance of, it should return 8 decimal number representing some balance. Another thing that you can do is that you can chain scripts together. So right now, invocation transactions are free, uh, but later down the line, it's gonna cost gas for each transfer. So what you want to do is you're going to want to put as many transactions into one block as possible. And in order to do that, you have to chain together the scripts. Info, we might want to know about NEP5 token. So for example, in our NEP5 token, we want to know the name, the decimal, the total supply, etc. So instead of performing an invoke script RPC call for each field that we need, we can combine it onto a single call. So going on this example below, we have the script hash of the what is this, testnet RPX. Okay, cool. We got the get name, we got the operation name, arguments, we got decimals, got the script hash, the operation name, blank arguments, symbol, script hash, operation name symbol, blank arguments, get total supply, script hash, operation total supply, blank arguments. And then here we just call neon get script, and you pass in an array of script commands, script command objects rather. So afterwards, you basically get a JSON RPC call, and in the stack, instead of having one object in your stack, you have an array of objects, each stack representing the response of each invocation call. And so it does in the order of the scripts. Oh, that's good. All right, so that's pretty much it. All right, cool. So that's done. Let's go back over. I am back on the private net. All right, now I need to run the Dr. run.sh. And then, we gotta run it as sudo. All right, started the container, awesome. Actually, start the private network, create a wallet, automatically clearing the initial NEP 48 gas, takes about 5 minutes. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and run that. It's gonna start it up. It's gonna create a new wallet, claim our gas. Anyway, I don't know why I'm sitting looking at this. But basically, this function will create a new wallet. It'll claim our initial gas and whatnot. It'll create 2 new files, create our wallet file and our WIF file. And with this Neo private.wallet, we can use that with NeoPython. So I'm going to basically recreate these steps up on the server, and that will allow us to actually interact with what's going on. And anybody who wants to test it out, we'll get somewhere between 5 and 10 people to help test it out, the application and whatnot, and then you just create a wallet on the application, and then we'll just send you some Neo and gas to get started, and RNC coin. But I mean, basically what this is doing isn't anything really special. It's basically doing what we did in the first video, but using the City of Zion Docker image instead of using the Metacris Docker image. But guys, that's pretty much it that I have. I'm going to go ahead and get off here. I'm trying to think of anything major that I missed in today's talk. I basically just wanted to show you what we had up, show you what we're doing, show you the basic overview of creating a wallet and whatnot, and save everything else for next time. Yeah, I think that's pretty much it. So I'm gonna go ahead and get off here, and change coin. Oh, actually, I think it did say it was gonna. Yeah, we'll display several internal errors with respect to any severe success message. Okay, cool. All right, I don't worry about it. All right, cool. I'm gonna get off here and see you guys next Wednesday. And be sure to look at the code on GitHub, because I am going to update the code. So on Wednesday, it'd really be great if you guys just have that DU Crypto Neo Rentals code downloaded on your machine. You can just literally just follow along what I'm doing, and then I can even push as I go, so you guys can just see and download and keep up to date with me. But all right, guys, I got some other work I have to do, and I'm tired, so I'll talk to you guys on Wednesday. Peace out.